All right, so this is how we homeschool in our house. So first off, we start off with the boys have checklists. So here I have my 15-year-old Zen, and here I have my 13-year-old Max, all right? And we start off the day, everybody has their own checklists that they have, that they know exactly what they're gonna have to do in the day. But before we start on the checklist, we start off with some type of group work. This is what the book we're working through right now. The Obstacle is the Way. We're gonna read a chapter, and then we're gonna talk about the lesson of that day. The lesson today was talking about think progress, not perfection. So how do we do little steps to get to our goals as opposed to constantly thinking of that big picture and going, I'm stuck because I don't know how to get there. And then we'll use that to model what we're doing today. So it is now time for me to go work out because I prioritize that.
But Mom, what do I do?
I know. So Max, I would like you to look at your list in front of you, pretend there's a list in front of you. And you have today, we have history, which is going to be taught by your father as a group lesson.
Okay.
But your dad and I are going to work out right now. So are we going to do history? No.
Nope.
So you also have math, which you have already had your lesson, and all you have to do is the workbook problems. So you know what you're doing on this. What do you think I'm going to have you do?
Math.
Math.
I'm doing math.
So if you have any questions on math while we're working out, just bring your math book over to the workout room and come ask us. But I know you're probably not because
I'm Max.
Because you're Max and you love math. So Max is going to be working on math, while Zen, I'm going to be setting up on working on some Spanish. So we're using AOP for a couple of topics here. We use their life pack books. We kind of have just a few that we use interspersed with everything else that we do. So Zen has independent work in Spanish that he's going to be doing. If he needs, they have CDs that he can listen to. So guys, we're going to go work out. See you in 30. We're off. We come back.
Zen, let's go do something in the kitchen.
And then Zen goes. Now, they're actually at 13 and 15 able to do this. And we give them specific things that they can do independently without problem. Once we're done working out, my husband is going to go make some breakfast. So while he's making breakfast, I am going to look over their stuff. Everything great. Any questions?
Nope.
Awesome.
I learned all about angles.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about science a little bit. So right now, Zen is working through the AOP chemistry science, while Max has everything you know to ace high school chemistry.
Okay.
It's the same stuff. So what we're doing is Zen is reading independently, Max is reading. I'm finding the same thing that Zen is doing, the same topic, let's say chemical reactions and equilibriums. So we're gonna, let's say that that's right here. So I'm gonna ask you guys to take a few minutes to read your sections, and then we're gonna talk about them. So I'll give them 10, 15 minutes to read. And then what we'll do is I'll sit down and I'll start talking. Okay, so Max, what did you learn about, let's say, valence electrons?
An electron is located in the outermost shell.
Great. So then Zen, let's talk about that and how are we going to use that to understand the periodic table. So we'll build on that. We'll talk to both of them and make sure that they have that understanding. If they have independent work to do on that, like let's say they have some questions to do for that, I'll make sure they do their questions. And then we'll break apart. They'll come back together for history with Dad,
okay.
Which this is history with Dad. You ready? He sits in the middle. He goes and says, all right, today we are going to talk about, Vietnam. The Cold War turns ugly. Cool. So this now becomes a conversation. So I'm pretending I'm sitting here. Hold on. This is where my squats come into play. This is why I work out every day, so that I can pretend I'm sitting. So we're talking about Vietnam. We're going to talk about, hey, remember when we watched the movie Forrest Gump, and we talked about, and he was in the Vietnam War, and they came back. So we're going to have that conversation. So history turns into a dialogue between them. They're all talking to each other, asking questions, getting into it. It might finish off with, you know what, let's watch a tiny little piece of Good Morning Vietnam, because 13 and 15, they can do something like that, little bit harder topics, things like that. So they'll probably finish off by watching something, And then the rest of the day will be, okay, we've got independent reading. Zen, you've got A Midsummer's Night's Dream. You've got your student guide here. We've been trying with Shakespeare Memoria Press this year. This is something new that we're doing. And then we go over it with him. So we let him read it and then we kind of walk through it. While Max might have his own independent reading book, which I didn't bring.
That's okay, I have tons.
So Max right now is going through Gulliver's Travels.
Okay.
And he's got a little like study guide for that.
Pretend I'm reading something.
Pretend you're reading. And then it's time, once they're done with this, hey guys, it's 11:30. You finished everything. Exercise time. Zen's gonna go swim in the pool. Whee! Max is gonna go do some yoga because he loves yoga.
Yeah.
And then it's lunchtime and music, independent study, art, stuff like that.
Perfect.
That's how we do it.